I cannot wait to bring out this amazing cast. I know you're dying to meet them and hear from them. So let me first introduce the creator, the man that is responsible for all your tears and your laughter. Send him your therapy bill. He said that was fine. Please welcome the amazing, the brilliant Dan Fogelman.
Where do I go?
Second chair.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
What? Oh, at the end. I don't know what I'm doing. Just
lay on the couch. Go lay on the couch.
All right.
I told you these guys are cute. Okay, next up, he plays Kevin Pearson. He is the nicest guy. My God, he killed it this season. Please welcome Justin Hartley. Sure. We're improving.
Cool. What am I supposed to be?
Sure.
I think I screwed it up.
You guys share a couch.
I was supposed to go there.
That's all right. You just share a couch.
Okay, cool. Oh, got it. Nice.
It's going to turn into a sitcom.
This is going well.
We're all
all right. Next up, she is the matriarch of the family. I just told her backstage. This is such an Emmy-winning performance she gave this year. She did it in season 1 too, but this year, holy moly. Please welcome the remarkable Mandy Moore.
She did a good entrance.
Yeah, that's an entrance.
That was a good entrance.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's great. And then next up, this guy told me to introduce him a certain way, but it's not suitable for live streaming, so I'm not going to, except to say he is, again, one of the nicest people. He's so talented. He's the best reminder there is for making sure you have brand new batteries in your smoke detector. He's the best dad around. Please welcome Milo Ventimiglia. It's working? Okay. No,
Hi,
Milo,
guys.
you're over
Hey,
here.
y'all.
Come, Milo, come here.
They keep
How
getting
are
better.
you guys? Yeah?
Hi.
Cool.
Okay.
Good to see you.
I think we're good now. All right. Boy, this is quite the paparazzi thing going on.
Yeah, this is
here.
These are photographers.
I love it.
Photographers. Hi, y'all. How are you guys all? Yeah.
Wow, what a season. The finale is tonight.
Finale's tonight.
Which we know, yes. It's amazing, by the way. I don't know if some of you were at the panel yesterday and got to see an early preview of it, but it's amazing. How does it feel to be on the verge of the season 2 finale when you think back to the premiere? How would you sum up the premiere of season 2? How would you sum up the last 18 episodes for you guys and being on this journey? Because it's been a heavy year.
Yeah, I think I'm so proud of everyone. I'm proud of our cast and our crew. I think we started filming what we were talking about the other day in I think June of 16. And we've made 36 episodes since then. It's only about a year and a half. And so the fact that we covered the ground we did this year, that we pulled off Jack's death and all the attention that went with it, and then as well as doing the 3 episodes together where Kevin, Randall, and Kate each got their own episode, and some of the high degree of difficulty stuff we pulled off. I'm just really proud of everyone. I'm proud of this group. So
This is also a bit surreal because it does feel like it's gone in a blink of an eye.
It really
So it almost makes you appreciate those moments when you're there and you're in them, like the happening right now.
Yeah.
And being present with it because you know that it's going to be taillights and you're looking in the rear view.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate you guys too on the SAG Award win for Best Drama Ensemble. I don't know if you guys watched this. Their reaction when they won was the best thing I have ever seen in my life. Now that you've had 6 weeks to kind of process it, what does that mean to you that you guys won as a group?
And voted on by our peers.
Right.
It means everything. It's
You're welcome.
the coolest thing ever. Yeah, thanks, Jessica.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was remarkable.
It's good to have moments like that you can share with the entire cast.
Yes.
Everyone works so hard and is so dedicated and is so good at their job
Yeah.
And we're a family, and so to sort of be able to celebrate together and celebrate each other together.
And to be honest, I think we kind of got kicked in the teeth on every award show we've been to.
A lot of bridesmaids.
A lot of bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Like you get dolled up and you're like, yeah, hey, I'm happy to be here. This is lovely. I'm really happy to be here. Oh, good. What's that show called? Oh yeah, Bridesmaid Sale. Handmaid's Tale. You're like, oh yeah, great show, love it. Oh, The Crown. Yep, love that one too. Love it. So I think it was genuine shock that we were recognized. I mean, it's like Mandy's saying, it's your peers, it's people that are looking at the work that you're doing, having experienced the work that we're all doing, and knowing what it takes to hit those levels and hit those peaks and hit those lows. That just it's a humbling, grateful experience.
You know what's cool about our cast is for the SAG Awards, there's rules with SAG, so you have to be in a certain number of episodes. So some of our younger kids randomly, don't get to go to be a part of the SAG. The cast all brought the entire cast as their plus ones, all the kids. And then, I'm like, that's like bringing an 8-year-old to an award show. It's not easy work, And then, some of them don't get the trophies. So I think Milo made up, or the guys made up.
Mandy and I.
Mandy and Milo made up 3D trophies in the shape of the SAG Award for all the kids and all the people.
We basically took our awards. Mandy and I found this 3D print shop. We took our awards to this 3D print shop, and we said we need 6 of these identical, like exactly made to the specs of what these are, and because they're deserving. And it wasn't the real statue, but we also kind of, from mom and dad, wanted them to know, hey, we love you guys. You should have a representation sitting on your mantle.
You're just as much a part of this as anybody else.
It was very cool.
Yeah,
they're all genuinely nice. It's a good group of people.
We love
that
each
take care
other.
of each other. So
This
it's really
is
nice.
the cutest
They're
story
very
in
cute.
the world.
They're very cute.
Oh my God, I got to see these trophies. I need to come to set and see them. I have the kids bring
It's going
them.
to turn into like the Mona Lisa. You don't know which one's the real one.
No, you don't. You
Until
don't.
you pick it up.
I know. Dan, I kind of want to go back to the beginning before we get into season 2. Originally, This Is Us was going to be a movie.
Yeah.
You were thinking of having it be a movie, and there were going to be a lot more Pearson siblings.
Yeah.
Right? Tell us a little bit about that and how it transformed into the TV show we know now.
And they were named the Peasings in that
The
script.
Peasings?
Through the pilot, they were named the Peasings. And then at one point we were sitting down with the writers and they're like, hey, what's the family's last name? We never really said it. I'm like, Peasings. And we're like, that's terrible.
But we said it
And-
once.
We said it once and we
Sterling
ADR'd
said
it. We ADR'd Pearson into Sterling's mouth instead of Peasing. When he confronts Ron Seacrest-Jones on his William on his front doorstep in the pilot, he goes, "My name is Randall Peasing, and 37 years ago you left me at a doorstep of a fire station." And then we changed it because we realized it was a weird sounding last name.
How did you come up with Peasings in the first place?
I don't know. I think it was a random collection of letters. Yeah. Originally it was a film. I was writing it as a film, and I wrote I think 80 pages of a film script, which is normally about 110 pages. And it was about 7 different interconnected stories. And then the reveal was going to be at the end of the movie somehow that they were all related as sextuplets or whatever the word is for 7. And it just wasn't holding for me, and I put it away. I'd never done that before. I'd written 80 pages, and I didn't feel it was a viable film. And I just put it away. And then 6 months later, I couldn't stop thinking about the characters, and I picked it back up, and I said, I wonder if it would make a cool TV show.
I love him with his camera.
Yeah.
He's so great. Now he's hiding it. And how many siblings were there going to be for This Is Us, the TV version? Was it just the
TV
3?
version was going to be the 3.
Okay.
But I think in the film there were 6 or 7. There was an English person who'd adopted kind of a Madonna English accent because they were living in England. So I thought that was another way of misdirecting that they were all related. And there were a bunch of other characters, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So fascinating. Is there any significance, by the way, to the names Jack, Rebecca, Kevin? Did that come from anywhere? Your best friend?
No. My wife is named Kate, but it's Caitlin. But no, it was just, no. I wish there was more art to it. It was
Okay, you're going to think this next question is crazy, but I'm sure this has happened. Has anybody told you guys that they've either named their kids or their pets after you or your characters?
Yeah.
Yes. Give me an example.
We've had both, right? I've seen people that adopted like 3 cats.
Yeah, I've seen like rescue animals. And
Like 3 of
they
them.
named
and
them like Kevin,
Randall,
Kate, and
Kevin, Kate,
Randall.
Yeah.
Trying to
And they
get them
weren't thinking
adopted.
though, like, now I have 3 cats. You know what I mean? They were like,
Yes.
this would be a great idea.
Lucky.
And I'm like, that's a lot of litter scooping. It doesn't seem worth it, but that's good.
If I ever get a cat, I'm gonna name him Justin.
Are you?
Even if it's a girl, I'll
Well,
just name him Justin.
thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you know what? You want to impress me? Name your daughter Justin.
Justina.
Now we're talking.
That's exactly. Okay, so let's go back to when you guys all first met. What do you remember about your first meetings with each other? And by the way, here's a really interesting tidbit. When Mandy was starring in A Walk to Remember, Milo actually went to the premiere of that movie.
I went,
did
to the
not meet,
premiere,
though.
I went to the premiere party. We didn't
Right,
meet them.
but they never
No.
met.
Really?
I went to the premiere party. I was employed by by Warner Brothers, and
Yeah.
they had this big thing, and whoever put on, whoever, my friend Troy, who was putting on like all the events that went off for Warner Brothers, was like, "Oh, you got to come!" And so I literally got off work on Gilmore Girls. I'm like, "I guess I'm gonna go to this party," and I went in, and I was like 15 people deep, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm never getting into this thing." And then the crowds parted, and I walked in, and I saw Mandy like way over there, and I was like, "Oh, cool, it's Mandy Moore. Oh, hey, there's my friend Shane West. Okay." And then I left the party. I was
I
out.
left the
Never met.
party.
No, actually,
sound like a
and,
party.
yeah, mine and Mandy's first actual meeting was when we read together, tested together with Dan in the room. I mean, I'm literally like head buried in your neck.
Yeah.
It's like, hi.
And
Milo."
I remember going in, I had heard like from my folks, they were like, so it was like 3 girls and 3 guys like going in to test for these characters, and it was like Milo is the one to beat, and I was like, oh, okay, like Milo was the guy. And I remember that I only read with Milo, and I was like, I hope that's a good sign that I didn't read with anybody
But it
else.
was also it was undeniable that it had to be Mandy.
That's-
No, actually, ask Dan.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other guy said no, so that helped.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So she was stuck with me.
Yeah, no, their first scene where they read together, because what was cool about the guys, all of us meeting was, these guys can all kind of get offered television shows if they want it, but they all came in and kind of read for the roles and fought for the roles. And so we got to see Mandy and Milo together. The scene they're talking about was literally their opening, like Mandy lying in bed pregnant, making out kind of scene. And so I was like, Milo, this is Mandy, Mandy, this is Milo. And then he had his head like in her chest, like talking to her belly, fake pregnant belly, and that's how they met.
This
a love
needs to be
story.
on the DVD.
Yeah.
Seriously,
I
we need to
actually
see this
have
one day.
I have the tapes, and they're really cool. Have
And
I
you
ever
didn't
sent?
bring
oh,
it?
God, no.
No.
The audition tapes?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I never want to ever.
Oh, I totally want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It's really cool. It feels like a lifetime ago. It's very,
Yeah.
very
Oh, I want to
Yeah,
see.
I have Justin reading with Chrissy for the first
Yeah.
time because Justin
guys
read with
read
his
together?
sister.
We read together, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool. The tapes are really cool. And I have Susan and Sterling together.
Dang, I want to see that
Yeah.
show.
Cool.
Promise me I can moderate that panel
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you finally show it,
Yeah.
because I would die to see
Yeah.
this.
That'd be
Justin,
fun.
what do you remember about your first meeting with Milo and Mandy?
So I remember it was at the table read was the first time I met you guys, and I'm very familiar with their work, obviously, but I'd never met them. I was supposed to do years ago. Do you know this? You don't know what I'm going to say, so.
I do not.
The way
know
it works
this.
is you say it, and then you find out. Jesus. So, right? So,
Yeah. Absolutely, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. What's next question? So no, years ago, you were attached to a pilot. I don't know if you heard the story or not, but and I was supposed to come in and like chemistry read with Mandy Moore.
What?
You don't know this?
No.
So, well, what ended up happening was nothing. But they were like,
No, because I never met you.
yeah, I think the pilot ended up not moving forward. But they were like, they want Mandy Moore for this role. Here's the pilot. It was actually a good pilot. I don't remember what it was, but it was good. And they were like, come in and do a chemistry read with Mandy Moore. And I was like, what's a chemistry read? And but I was just like excited to meet Mandy Moore. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go read with Mandy Moore. And then like, yeah. And then they were like, it's not happening. And I was like, great. But I think if that pilot would have gone, and it would have run 2, 3, 4, 6 episodes, whatever, 2 years, and I was your love interest on that show, if I was
And
lucky
then
enough
you
to
play
get, I don't think I would have gotten this job. 'Cause you can't cast,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be
Love
like,
interest to
Dan's
son.
like, no.
so I'm glad,
Weird.
I'm glad that thing fell apart.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Weird.
Can you imagine there's just a looming tape of you guys making out somewhere?
Mom and son.
Yeah. Like,
This is
that-
blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's funny, when I talked to Mandy after the episode aired of Randall's adoption story, which blew me away. There was a scene of you in the hospital when you were meeting Randall for the first time, and Jack was looking in, and it was one of the most beautiful moments I've ever seen on television, and how you played it was just brilliant. And I basically said to Mandy, I was like, do you know how good you are? And I realized she's so modest, she's not gonna be like, yes, I totally know how good I am. So instead of asking you guys what scene you're proudest of, because I know that's hard to do for yourselves, I'd love if each of you pick kind of a highlight reel for each other. What scenes blew you away of your co-stars? What scenes stand out to you of each other?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So the finale of season 1, that scene that you guys did where you were, this is like America's couple, like everybody loves them and we want them together and everyone's in love with this couple, and you're tearing each other apart. And there were so many things that were happening, because it was like, if you've ever fought before, you're like, oh, this is the nastiest fight I've ever seen. You know why? Because it's kind of fair. Like I thought you were, it was like, wow, these are real things. And that was so uncomfortable to watch. And I mean that in the most flattering way, because it was so real.
Yeah.
It was like I felt like I was looking into like a keyhole, like watching something I shouldn't have been watching. It was brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, throwing right back to Justin. I'm sure you'd agree. Episode number 1. That's all about Kevin. When you're on the football field,
Oh, I can't.
I had the hardest time watching that. I mean, as a friend, as a co-star, but then even strangely, bizarrely, like as your father. But it was also like it was real, and there was nothing put upon. It was just a beautifully, brutally honest scene where you're questioning your existence and everything going on. It was.
Yeah, that episode.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I think
Yeah.
it's like top 3 of
Yeah.
like the whole series for me. I
Totally.
love that episode so much, and you are just absolutely brilliant in every
Phenomenal.
single moment of it.
They all, the cast, that's what's so cool about them. Like, it was Justin's episode, and the cast, they come to my office and watch the episodes. Like, Sterling always comes down, Susan comes down, Milo and Mandy come and watch episodes together before they air. And it was Justin's episode. Hardly anybody else is like, it's clearly his episode. And they were all coming to my office, like, to go, holy shit, Justin in that episode is crazy. And like, they were so excited and so proud, and they were barely in it. You know what I mean? And like, so they're so great like that. They're really good about complimenting each other.
We should keep doing it. Let's do it again.
I got a ton of Mandy. I mean,
Same for you.
yeah, I definitely feel like one of like the luckiest men ever, because I feel like one of the luckiest audience members, because before you guys see it, I get that front row. I get that like I'm sitting right there, I'm inches away or across the room or whatever it is, and I know anytime, there really is never a time where I'm struggling with the character, but any moment that I'm even distracted in my own life or whatever, I look at Mandy, I look her right in the eye, and there's Rebecca, and there's Jack, and here we are, and we're this married couple, and here are these kids, and here's this life that they've built.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing in the world to do. So like I have too many favorites with Mandy Moore.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. It's so easy and
Yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, blast.
And what about you guys for Milo? Which scene stood out for you this season?
This season?
Yeah.
Gosh, this season, I mean, I had the luxury of watching the finale yesterday. So that,
Oh, yeah.
there was one moment, and I told you about it yesterday,
Yeah.
that you're gonna see tonight. Or a lot of you have seen it. No,
Oh no, come on. You think we're
you guys
gonna
have
break
no
now?
faith. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm telling you that you're gonna see it tonight.
Media training. Do not talk.
I would say too, because I also have a front row seat to all your performances, anytime you have a scene with just the kids,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. Like you have a way of like centering them and grounding them,
Yeah.
and it makes them give like the best version of themselves, like
Yep.
the best performance. But there's something always so tender and beautiful about those moments.
Yeah.
always try. I mean, I know because we talk about this, like we remind ourselves that they're kids, you know, and like their attention scatters like marbles on a concave table. It's just like, how do you collect all these energies going in different directions and keep them like on track and in line? And
But you always set a great example, and you keep them in line and
yeah, we try.
help them sort of elevate their
Yeah.
performances.
Thanks.
They're getting, the kids are learning so much from Milo and Mandy, and the other day we were shooting something, and like these kids, when you watch that video, like they're getting so much older so
Yeah.
quickly, and they all look so different, and these kids who had never barely acted before, and Milo has been teaching them, and they're learning, they want to be like Milo and Mandy so much. And then the other day I was like quickly directing a quick thing with the kids, and one of the kids, Parker, he's like, "Hey Dan," and I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You need me to cry?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's
"Oh,
that
so we're
easy
there now?" Like they really got good quick, and he did. He was like,
Yeah.
Which I
"Yeah, which eye?"
Yeah. This side. How do you want it?
I just want to say there was one scene in particular that always stands out for me. It was you and Hannah, I believe, who plays teenage Kate, when I believe Jack admits his alcohol
yeah.
problem, and she's holding your face with her hands. And it was the last few minutes of this one episode, and
Second episode, second season.
yeah, that moment in particular just killed me. I see it in your eyes right now thinking about it and how special that was. But that moment was just, I mean, all your scenes with the kids are amazing. That one in particular, I've not seen a true moment like that on TV.
It's, you know, I've had a handful of friends who have had to battle a drinking problem. And, you know, the way that Dan and the writers have let that side of Jack be addressed, and I can only imagine how painful that must be to admit that to a child, who you are the hero, you are like the one they look up to, you're the strength, you're the kid's everything, you know, and especially the dynamic between Jack and Kate. You know, I think if anything, I just try and be as honest and make these people as real as I can and as we can, you know, like a pact of making this couple real, like this real married, living, breathing, you know, husband and wife and parents and all of that. You know, it's just, it's playing the real notes to where everyone would look at it and be like, wow, that was me talking to my daughter, and I know how hard that was. Or wow, that was my father talking to me, and I remember that. You know, that is, I would say, one of the greatest things about the experience that we all have on this show, aside from the fun of making it, is the conversation that gets started because of these very simple, attainable stories. Yeah.
How do you get to that place emotionally? Like, what do you do before you shoot those scenes? Do you stay in your trailer and listen to music? Do you go over it with one another? What is your process before you do these really heavy moments?
I think everyone's process is probably different, but and depending on what you're going through in your personal life. But we're gifted with this material that makes it a lot easier to.
There's not a lot of preparation.
If you listen to what the person's saying to you, and you listen to the words that are coming out of your own mouth, and you mean what you're saying, it's right there.
It's
And we
done.
have this history now with these
Yeah.
characters and these stories and what we've experienced, so it's not too difficult to tap into it. But yeah, like you said, it all starts on the page.
They're
That
being
makes our
modest.
job so
Yeah. Mandy went through a 3-week period when we were doing our Super Bowl episode in the immediate aftermath. She cried like for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
No
I've
joke.
never seen anything like it. Like, I was coming down to set, and I told the story, but I was leaving set at like midnight one night, and I was like, to my assistant, I was like, geez, we gotta like send her flowers or something. And we just kind of walked in silence for a little. I'm like, something to cheer her up. Like, this is brutal.
Oh, yeah.
And we were walking in silence, Jake and I, and then Jake goes, my assistant, he's just walking, he goes, maybe we should send her a clown. And he was totally serious. 'Cause
Wait,
we
a
were-
real clown?
Yeah, just a clown to her trailer to try and make her feel better. I was like, I think that would be weird. And we had an honest, like, 5-minute discussion about whether it was a good
wish
idea
that would've
to send Mandy a clown.
I so wish that had happened.
But I thought it would be distracting. Like, he's burning alive and you have a clown waiting for you in your trailer.
Yeah, security.
But we did discuss it. I mean, you would be down on set, and it was like one scene after another. Like, you're at the hospital, and then you're at the house, and then she's showing up to tell her kids after. And it was like 3 weeks, right, of just Mandy. It was hard to watch.
I would be, because Mandy and I share a trailer, and I'd be just like waiting as she's doing that, and she'd just walk back and be like, hey. And she'd just walk over, just like give a big hug, and then just go back into her trailer and close the door. Because she's just been crying for weeks.
I couldn't see you when we were doing the final episode. I was like, nope, it's too much. It's too much. I can't.
I know, and I knew that, and I was like, I can't be around for that.
That's a scene, by the way, Mandy in that Super Bowl episode.
Oh, God.
What she does in those couple of scenes is like such raw, visceral grief, and it was captured on camera in such a unique way. And the whole country is sitting and talking about it and waiting for it, so you want to get it right. And then the final scene she has with Milo before it, the two of them have, and then Mandy's like reaction. It's so extraordinary. Like I think it's so extraordinary, and it was. So I don't know what she does to do that, but it's pretty exceptional.
Thank God you didn't send in a clown. My
Yeah, I know. I would have been.
I realize we're shocking you to death on this panel between Justin almost playing your love interest and now a clown being sent in. Like, you guys got a lot of
new
surprises.
information.
What about Justin dressed as a clown?
I know, right?
I'll do it. You write it, I'll do it.
Yeah, good.
Is there a scene or an episode that kept you up at night the night before you shot the scene? What kept you? Is there any that kept you up at night that was hard to sleep because you just kept thinking about it for the next day?
I mean, I know definitely the scene that Mandy and I shot last season, the finale, the big argument. You know, the big long argument through the house and just stretches through and all that. That one, it kept me up the way a play would keep me up when I was younger. When I was on stage, I would sit in the back of a theater and I would go through an entire play on just staring at the stage and like saying the lines, and it would take me like an hour to do. But that was one of those scenes that I knew how important it was, and I knew what Dan was wanting from the scene and what Ken Olin was wanting, and like just being there to, like, for Mandy, like that was the scene that kept me up the night before. But also, like, the next day I wasn't up with worry. I was excited. It's like you want to get on the field. You want to get on the field. You want to get on the stage. You want to do the work because you're ready. You want to go. Mm-hmm. You want to have an argument with your TV wife. God. You know, no, not really.
Were you stressed before your big, Justin, your big one outside the house? Because that's another exceptional moment, like when you talk about what the actors do. When Justin is screaming for that necklace outside that house, like I've never seen that on television before. And our writer KJ was on set that night, and she called me, and she was like, "Wait till you see what Justin is doing. It's crazy." And but do you get stressed out the night before you're shooting that, or are you not? Is it just like another day? It's so good to be him. It's just
No, I don't. Well, I have a lot of. Gosh, you know, I find my safety blanket, and I sort of find a lot of comfort in the script and the writing, and I have a lot of trust in that. And our directors and Ken was there, and KJ was there, and I feel like it's like there's this big safety net, just sort of when you go into those moments. I look forward to it, and when you go into those moments that are like, as an actor, you wait your entire life to hopefully get one.
Yeah.
And it probably isn't going to happen. We get them every week.
Yeah.
And when you have that confidence in your writers and your producers, you can go for it. You just jump, and you don't think about it.
Yeah. Is there a scene that you would love to go back and do again just because it was so fulfilling, or it was just such a fun moment?
Yeah, the meltdown for me.
Really?
I would love to.
in the pilot.
Not to redo it differently, but I would love to experience that again. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, I could do this all day.
I think we did do it all day.
This guy's getting away with that, you know? And people are like, good. Like, that would get you blackballed from the entire industry, you know? But yeah, that was fun.
On the Manny, that's what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you guys, Milo and Mandy?
I don't know.
You wouldn't want to Vogue again? Remember with
That
with
was
young,
fun.
You like to Vogue?
I mean, again, it's, you know, this is like, it's like picking your favorite kid. There are too many moments, and I feel like we already lived it once, and I hold the feeling, like the sentiment of it, and like the love that was felt in all of those scenes, that to go back and do it again or live it again, it would ultimately be different. I don't know.
It would take away. It would distract
Yeah,
from it.
maybe. I don't know. I like bandwidth. I'm overwhelmed, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
Speaking of the kids, by the way, I know they come to you guys for advice a lot. What is the funniest thing they've ever asked for advice on, or something that you just get the biggest kick out of?
Yo, you have something?
No, I'm looking to you because I
Oh.
feel like they always go to you. Nobody talks to me. I'm like, go to Milo. Milo will tell you what to do.
No, they
Nobody
don't
talks.
really like ask me for advice. Like, you know, it's a little more, I see them young and I see them not understanding because they're kids. Like, that's what I think is probably the most exciting thing about being an adult in the situation, is seeing this beautiful young mind, a beautiful young artist, and they don't have the life experience yet to really process what's happening. And so then being able to take the lens and shift the focus for them and give them a few words, and then actually see how cool they get. Oh yeah, no, I was thinking that. I got it. Yeah. You know, but
We've sat and talked to them too about like, this is a big moment.
Yeah.
Be present and appreciate it, because we've been working for a long time in this business, and these moments don't come around.
Yeah.
This is like once in a lifetime, and the next job is not gonna be like this. So you
and
should
actually,
appreciate
yeah,
it while it's
it's
happening.
reminding them, saying this is the job that everything else in your career will be compared to.
Yeah. So
That's actually like, and you know, and then you follow it up with, you know, yeah, I've been doing this 22 years. I'm like, where were you 22 years or whatever? I'm like, can't even have the conversation with them.
Yeah.
Like, wait, how old are you, Mr. Milo? Well, I'm 40, son. What? How old's Miss Mandy? You never ask a lady her age.
Wait, do they call you actually Mr. Milo
Oh, yeah.
and Miss
Yeah.
Mandy?
Yeah.
yeah.
He
yeah.
demands that we call him Mr. Milo.
I have to do
I
it
have to
too.
do it too.
Yeah, it's in his
I'm
rider.
gonna call you that. I'm gonna be like, every time I see you now, Mr. Milo, how are you
Miss
today?
Mandy.
How did that
Mandy.
happen? They do. They
No,
call
no,
us
they
Polite.
Mr. by-
They
and
do
then
it
your
on
first
they
name.
do it on
Yeah.
their own.
Yeah.
Like Parker and Lonnie do
Mr.
it.
Justin, I hear it. I'm like,
Mackenzie not so much.
No.
Niles does it.
Niles does it.
Logan
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And Hannah doesn't.
So 4 out,
Yeah,
3 out of 3 out of 6.
It's not bad.
I want to talk to you guys about your craziest fan encounters, because I know the fans just love the show. In fact, yesterday, Milo doesn't know this. This was so funny. I saw a fan come up to him and say hello, and he was so gracious, as he always is, and they were so cool and calm and collected. I was like, wow. And then the minute you walked away, she literally freaked out, started flapping her arms, and like, he touched my hands, and like, it was the funniest thing. So, and I know you were telling me you have one that maybe happened
mean,
yesterday. What's your craziest one?
I don't have craziest is probably a 9-month pregnant woman running up to me like a freight train in Beverly Hills and screaming, flapping her arms, and I swear I said to her, I said, please calm down. Do not have the baby on the streets of Beverly Hills right now, please. She goes, no, I'm having it tomorrow. I'm like, what? And she goes, scheduled C-section. I go, still don't have it today. I go, so scheduled C-section. She's like, I love your show. I love, you know, your Tuesday night. And I'm like, great, what's your name? I mean, I love it. And she kind of forgets about me and turns to everybody. There's this amazing thing that kind of happens where there's a moment that someone walking up to us is having. And it's unique for them maybe because like it doesn't happen that often. And there's a version on our side where it does. People have such great love for this show and these characters that it befalls on us. And so there's a level of trying to like keep people calm and be there and listen and again be present, but also like
fear.
Dude, I thought she was gonna have the baby right there. But also it's also like, hey, let's have a human moment right now. Like, so real quick, I'll just say it. Last night, a gal walked up. We were all walking out of dinner, and this gal walked up. Her name's Marley. She walked up and said, excuse me, Milo, I just wanted to thank you because your show has impacted me, and I wanted to walk over and introduce myself. I'm blown away by this young woman who's doing this, and she's like, I just want to thank you. And she starts kind of telling me a little bit about her story. And then, you know, the second one person walks up, more people walk over, and they're holding their phones. By the way, anytime like a phone comes out nowadays, it's like a gun. It's like, oh man, this is crazy. What's going to go on? And this girl was just so appreciative. She didn't want anything. She didn't ask for anything. One gal wanted a hug. One girl wanted a photo immediately. And And it was like all this girl wanted was to just thank us and the group. And the 2 other gals ended up walking away. And I said, no, hang back a second, Marley. And I thanked her because she was having this kind of human connection as opposed to collecting a prize, which I think is something that's so lost on culture today, is that we're in the fishbowl. And this show has had such a human impact on this young girl, Marley, who was 19 and so well-spoken, that all she wanted to do was walk up and thank someone. And I introduced her to Dan, and I introduced her to Justin and Isaac and Kate and all these people, but it was beautiful because that happens 1 in every 30 people walking up just asking for something, a show of a souvenir or a trophy,
People have a really people that are fans of the show are fans of the show in a slightly different way. They relate to a character or a storyline. So I find when they're coming up to the cast, a lot of the times it's intensely personal in a way that often I think going up to a celebrity isn't.
Yeah.
And so it's always interesting to watch because they're not coming up to me, and I'm just always watching how the guys deal with it. And it's always like it's an intense experience. People want to share their life stories with them.
Yeah.
Justin, do you have one?
I do, in fact, have one. I think you know this woman. Your mom. No, dead serious. Yeah. Lovely lady, but woo!
All right, so there's a story to this, and I have to tell you guys, this is so funny. So my mom has been a huge fan of Justin's for a long time. She's been watching Young and the Restless for years and just loves him as anybody would. And she was coming out to visit me from St. Louis for her 65th birthday, because we all live in LA. And Justin and I were talking, and Justin, being so sweet, was like, you should bring her to set. I was like, whoa, Justin, like, you do not know my mother. She will lose it. I was like, secondly, they have emotional scenes. Like, you don't want some crazy fan just walking in there and freaking out.
And I'm like, oh, come on, how crazy could she be?
Yeah. He's like, no. I was like, all right, let's do this. Justin, I was like, the morning of her birthday, why don't you text me and let me know how your day is going? This was in season 1 when they were at the cabin for the first time. And I was like, let me know. And I wasn't going to tell my mom in case it didn't work out. I didn't want to get her, let her down or anything. So that morning, Justin's like, nope, we're good to go. Bring her by Paramount.
Yeah.
Oh boy, okay. So anyway, I had to lie to my mom and say, oh, I got to go to Paramount. I got to drop something off today. She's like, okay. So she comes with me. And when we were outside the studio, and we're on the Paramount lot where they're shooting a lot of other films and TV shows, you're supposed to be quiet. And I tell her what we're about to do.
I
have the video.
Yeah.
So I brought it today.
Good.
Whoever is able to do it, let's roll this video of me surprising my mom.
Here.
So wait,
Wipe the whole
maybe I should tell you the reason why we're here.
Oh, crap. Oh, no.
I don't have to drop anything off.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What are we here for?
Justin Hartley wants to meet you.
Oh! No! Are you shitting me? Are you telling me? Oh, my God. 100 times. Jessica? I would have dressed up. Oh, my God. I would have dressed up. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, my God. I would have dressed up.
We've been texting all morning and yesterday to plan this.
I would have dressed up. Oh, Jessica, thank you.
Oh, that's great.
I told you. But wait, we're not done, because then when I bring her on the set, first of all, you don't even know this, they had to stop production because she was so excited. So Sterling was there, and Sterling and I are both from St. Louis. In fact, my cousin went to high school with him. And so he's kind of known my family for a long time, but he had never met my mom before. She also suffers from chronic back pain. She's been in so much pain for the last 3 years, and I've never seen her so excited as this moment. Like, this was everything to her. So when she meets Justin and Sterling, apparently she's like holding on to them because it helps her back. That's what she said. That it helped
I
her
remember.
back.
Yeah.
And she did not want to let go. So I have that video too. So let's roll this when she met
Oh, there's
them.
another one.
It is not.
You
It's
think
hard
they
to
need
make
on
me
the
blush.
show as a
I'm
mother. You
telling
think they need a mother on the show?
I'm sure we could use one.
You know, I told the guy, we saw the guy Pitch who did Jessica's show over there, and I said,
Yeah.
you need a mother on the show? I told him, you know, I'm a mother available. You know, I could be the mother. So
We'll just fly
this
you
is
in.
so cool. I am so excited. This helps my back, Jessica. I don't know. I don't know. It's helping my back. It's just like, I don't
What do
know.
you
It's
do?
weird.
You
Do it
like-
again.
you
I've
like,
got a
oh,
very
look at
bad
this man.
back.
It's
So
like
it's like
ridiculous.
helping my back. I don't know. It's just like, oh, I'm getting a stretch and everything.
I thought you said you're going to have a stroke.
I'm
You
getting
have your mom having a.
That's incredible.
Right.
She's very sweet. I kid. She's not. I kid.
No,
when I say
they
it.
just, and I brought my dad to the Golden Globes, and Milo has met my dad, and like, it's a whole family affair. And,
Yeah, good.
and here's another fun fact. Dan, who also executive produced the show Pitch, knows what a big baseball fan I am, because when you're from St. Louis, that baseball is religion. Dan cast me on Pitch as the head of PR for Major League Baseball in an episode directed by Regina King. He let me open up the episode. I thought he was drunk when he did this. So he is, when my mom was like, if you need a mother, she was
Yeah.
referring to the fact that Dan already cast me. So she's like, I'll play a mother, I'll do anything. I mean, I love these people. They're truly everything to me.
Well, we love you back.
Thank you.
I
love it. What have you guys learned about yourselves on this journey? What has this show done for you as a person? Come on.
I was gonna say I think it kind of reaffirms that idea that if you lead with love, that if you're hopeful, if you're inspiring, if you're communicative, then hopefully you should have a good life.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think the show's made by a lot of really kind-hearted, optimistic people. I think you feel it when you watch the show. When you watch the finale, hopefully tonight you guys will watch, it's filled with, you can just feel it off the actors that they're nice people and it's made by nice people. But I think for me, I'm one of those people who I can't get off CNN right now and watching everything that's going on in the country, just generally and globally, how divided everybody is, and I just constantly am going like, what on earth is going on right now? Like, how are we all collectively here, regardless of what side of the line we sit on? And then I look at this show, and not just the show exists, but how popular it's become, and so I don't know that it's changed me as a person. It's the popularity of the show and the fact that people across all spectrums of life are attaching to a show that's this open-hearted and optimistic and romantic and inclusive. It gives me hope a little bit that maybe like the fact that the show is landing the way it's landing gives me hope that maybe the other stuff is kind of going to fade away, or at least kind of ease off at a certain point. Because I don't understand the country where this show can be as popular as it is with the stuff that I'm also seeing on the news at the same point. So it's like, I'm trying to figure that out. But I don't know what the answer to that is. But I think there's hope and optimism there.
Yeah.
That there's a happy ending potentially for the show and for the world, hopefully.
This is why I love this guy.
I don't know, that didn't make any sense.
Yes,
Yes, it
No, it
did.
did. It made-
Yes,
it-
it
it's-
did.
I drank a lot in Austin last night, guys.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Justin
but-
had me out till like 3 a.m. We tried every bar.
So glad I was invited.
It's a fun town.
Fun town. Oh,
Well,
man.
for me, I'll tell you just really
Yeah.
quickly. So I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I try to, take in every single moment, because yesterday she was 2, and now she's 13, and it's even hard to talk about. But she's my everything, and what it's done for me is it's reminded me to slow down. As simple as that sounds.
Yeah.
Living in LA, doing this job, you have to think about everything. Like going to get groceries is a chore now, right? You have to think about everything and who's doing what, and it's just busy and it's constant. And then but you have to take time and enjoy your children, not only your children, but like the people in your life, your friends. It's so delicate and it's so special and it's so sacred. And so it's caused me or helped me slow down, which is nice.
I love that. Mandy, how about you?
I'm going to go with Dan's answer. Because it's just, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be a part of something, especially during such a divisive time, to be a part of entertainment that is hopeful and inclusive.
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really proud to be a part of that.
Right.
Last few questions before we get to the audience stuff, because I could talk forever and we're running out of time. Dan, I know you said that you have planned out this show for years and seasons to come. One thing I'm curious about is either based on fan reactions or based what you see on the monitor when they're shooting, have you ever thought about altering course for anything based on what you've seen? Because obviously, like, you had this Bible kind of that you wrote about the series before it even premiered. So now that it's airing and you've seen the life that it's taken on, is there anything that you ever think about maybe changing up a bit?
It's a good question. It's not too much because we're not that rigid. So I think it's more about when we like something, we want more of it. I try to, and I think our writers do. The internet is the popularity of the show makes the internet a very dangerous place for somebody who does what I do for a living, because you'll never find anything that treads in the waters we tread in that is universally beloved. A moment, a character, a decision. And if you read too much, you can't just kind of stick to what got you there, because you're constantly chasing, oh, that guy on Twitter hated this, or this critic was a jerk about that, or such and such. And so if you do that, then you're not being honest. So that said, and we've had a plan. Like, I have found in the course of like this season, I love watching Justin and Sterling on camera together. There's something about the two brothers together. You see a lot of it in the finale. There's something so real about them as brothers, and they're these two different types physically. And so like that's a situation where it's not because I'm reading something or doing something, but I'm going, shit, we need to get Justin and Sterling on camera together more. So it's things like that we adjust, or a guest star will come in and we'll go, wow, that person's really good. We found, as an example, young Lyric Ross, who plays Deja. Yeah. And she had never acted before. If she had been in one little episode. And she was always going to be a huge part of the season. But when you see somebody like that and you see the opportunity that you have with a young actor like that, you adjust in a positive way. You go, okay, we need to do a lot with this girl. Her storyline, as it reflects on Randall's storyline, is incredibly interesting. It's a story that is not traditionally told on network television. And so that gets really exciting, and that becomes a bigger part.
Absolutely. Last couple things. God, there's so much more I want to talk about. Speaking of guest stars, you want to announce 2 special guest stars in tonight's finale that have not been announced yet. I heard we could announce that here.
Sure.
So do you want to be the one to do the honors?
Sure. Brad Pitt. No.
Tom Cruise.
We don't need Brad. We already got Justin and Milo and Sterling. You don't need anybody else.
Sure. Dan Lauria, who's Dan Lauria and Wendy Malick are going to play Toby's parents in the wedding episode, and they're lovely in it. Yeah. And Dan was the father on The Wonder Years, and
he was America's dad.
He was America's dad.
Mr. Arnold. He was America's dad.
And he's very close with Sully in real life. So Chris has a really great episode tonight, I think.
Yeah.
Sully. So.
Totally. Last thing before the audience questions, what storyline has made you most proud to see on television? Because you guys do everyday stories like nobody else, anxiety, depression, racism, everything. Which one stands out to you? You're most proudest to tell?
To me?
Yeah.
Gosh, I really.
It's like picking children.
Yeah, it's just that. For me, it's like little moments, like when you were talking, like all the big moments that you were talking about with the guys, like those are Justin's episode, or Milo's with the whole car, where you see the course of a man's life through the family car, and all the stuff Mandy did on those episodes of powering through for this family. But sometimes it's like the little moments, like Milo in the car talking about Alanis Morissette with his daughter. It's not a scene that would ever go on the reel of the heaviest dramatic moments or funniest, but there's something so organic and real about the two of them there. Or Mandy doing that monologue at 2 different ages to 2 different babies, her grandchild and the baby. Or just like in this last episode, Justin has a scene tomorrow night that crushes me, where he makes where he makes a toast at Kate's wedding, and it crushes me. And so like it's the little moments as opposed to one particular storyline for me.
Well said. Okay, let's get to some audience questions. All right, first one from Anonymous. How do you ensure the kids who play Kate have and maintain, here we go. Maintain a healthy and positive body image given the weight struggles theme that plays out through the seasons?
Well, thanks for the question, Anonymous. The young girl, Mackenzie, we communicate with her parents quite a bit. There was an episode we were doing where the little girl was gonna have, it's a beautiful scene she does with Milo.
Oh, the pool episode?
No, after the pool, the one where she's sitting on the stump with you and is like, Derek at school called me fat. And it's the first time that little girl has said that out loud on camera. So we try and get ahead of it with the parents, make sure everybody's comfortable, make sure everybody's like messaging properly. Our older Kate she's in her late teens, early 20s, so she's pretty. It's less concerning there, I think.
Yeah.
Very well said. What have you learned about relationships through the show? Has it shaped how you interact in your personal lives in any way? Justin, I think you were speaking to that with your daughter about just slowing down moments. How about for you guys as well?
It makes me reach out to my parents after every episode. Yeah, I mean, especially I would say more so in like the first season, and then there are bits and pieces of this season that, I realize like, oof, that second episode with Kate and Rebecca, it made me like reach out to my mom for sure. I was like, there's some stuff sitting there that we need to resolve, but yeah, absolutely.
I try and be better to a better husband to my wife. I think like sometimes it's easier to write being a great husband than it is to actually be a great husband, because you're writing, like in Milo you have this, and in Sterling in his marriage you have these like hyper realized versions of what you hope to be, and then you're going home and you're short, you're short with your wife, and so like trying to capture a bit of that in real life and not just putting it all on TV is.
Jack is a very hard man to live up to.
Yeah.
Mandy, are we going to see you sing more in the new season? From Anonymous. Why are they anonymous?
Anonymous.
Come on, people.
I have
Anonymous
no
has a lot of
idea. That
questions.
would be up to Dan and the writers. I would like to sing with Chrissy though at some point.
Yeah.
At some point on the series, like some
all wanna see
season. I think that would be so fun.
Mandy sings a bit in tonight's episode, and yeah, I think in season 3 we're planning on potentially seeing quite a lot of Jack and Rebecca's origin story of like what happened after they met at that bar and what was their courtship like, and exploring that period quite a bit. So I think that singing obviously was a big part of her life back then. So I think it's fair to say there'll be some.
All right. For Milo, do you enjoy playing the beloved characters more than a villain?
I like them all, honestly. And that's the greatest thing about being an actor is you get to play them all. Like, I look forward to playing a grandfather at some point or a ballerina or whatever, but I think playing the good guy, kind of what Mandy and Dan were saying, like especially now is such an important time to hopefully display that and be an inspiration of that. But there is something just so deliciously fun about playing the villain.
I like this question from Rich. This will be directed to Dan. Like you recently did with Tess and Randall, do you plan on going into the future for additional storylines? What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see some stuff tonight, and yeah, we did it as a, obviously the reveal that we did in the Super Bowl episode of The Future with Randall was always part of the initial pitch. In season 2, deep in, we're going to go into the future storyline, and then live there potentially at some point. So yeah, the show plays in time, and it plays with the time of family. It was never just, that was the big kind of reveal in the Super Bowl episode, and we'll get there more next season, which is we're telling the full story of this family, not just going back but going forward. And so yeah, it's very much a part of where we're going.
From Jillian Mueller, the show is an antidote to toxic masculinity, was portraying strong, vulnerable, loving men a conscious part of the pitch. How is it handled in the writing? I love that.
Well, my thinking is, I'm in my early 40s. God, I'm in my early 40s, and I'm surrounded by men who are fathers. All my friends, all my buddies. I live a pretty regular life with regular people, and I'm struck by like my friends are all really, they're good dads and they're good guys and they're good husbands. Like, I'm always surprised that so many of our most highbrow art features different type of characters and darker characters. Yeah, my buddies are occasionally bummed out by the fact that they can't go out because they got 3 kids at home, or they have fights with their wives and vice versa. But I'm not surrounded by bad dudes. Like I'm surrounded by a bunch of nice guys, so I don't think it should be that uncommon to have nice people on television. Because I don't see that many terrible people except on TV.
It's true. And speaking of nice guys, you truly are one. I tell people this all the time. Truly are one of the nicest people in the business. There's, people always say to me, "What's the best interview you've done? Who's the nicest, cast or whatever?" And I always say, like, being nice and kind means more to me than anything else. And these 4 right here are the epitome of what it means to be kind and nice and so talented that it makes you love them even more. So thank you for coming and spending the time with us. And tune in tonight. You're not going to believe it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, y'all.